Yo, what is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody is doing good, man. NFL Draft Week, baby. We have made it. We're finally here. This is going to be my final mock draft 3.0, and we'll see where it goes. This is all a guess. We're speculating on what's going to happen. I got some projected trades. There's going to be a lot of movement from what we're hearing at this point, so if there isn't much movement during the draft, we could be all very much disappointed, but I got a lot of things happening and transpiring, so we'll see where these players land. We'll see how close I do get, because it is very hard to predict where these teams do want to go. But first off, we do know Caleb Williams, number 1 off the board. You got to believe it's going to happen, obviously. There's no way the Bears are going to buck the trend and go against Caleb Williams. And I mean, the Bears get their man Caleb to restart the franchise with Keenan Allen, with DeAndre Swift, and DJ Moore. So we'll see. It's a good move. The Bears finally get their man. Poles, General Manager Poles, will finally get his guy to plant his flag on, and we'll see where the Bears do go in that respect. So Caleb Williams, number 1 to the Bears. Number 2, the Washington Commanders, they're going to go Jaden Daniels. Okay, and the buzz around the commies that they're going to go Drake May. I just don't see it on the side of suggesting that the commies want to draft 2 UNC quarterbacks in 3 years. We just don't see it. We see the stinking stigma of the UNC QBs from a Mitchell Trubisky, like I've been saying in the other ones. So I do not foresee these Commanders doing that. Could they go May? Absolutely. But I think they're going to go Jaden Daniels, LSU, because they do want a different, approach in this offense, and Daniels would absolutely uplift an offense with guys like Scary Terry McLaurin. Don't sleep on John Dotson. Telling y'all, Austin Eckler and company, it would be a very exciting offense with a Jaden Daniels. Number 3 projected trade. Trade alert, baby. And I'm telling y'all, it is, okay, Minnesota Vikings projected trade, I'm saying, with the New England Patriots. Patriots, they got to rebuild the entire roster, so it makes a heaping amount of sense for them to trade back in this draft. Yes, they do need a franchise quarterback, and they could snag it here at number 3. However, I do believe that the MO could be, let's go looking at the long-term rebuild of this team in, stacking picks and getting better all around rather than just getting a franchise passer. So we'll say Minnesota does trade up because they have been the ones that have been making a lot of noise, desperate to replace a Kirk Cousins, and they get Drake May in this respect. So Drake May with JJ for the next 10 years, getting the replacement. The Vikings do got ample ammo to move up from their spot at number 11 to number 3. Likely will take the 2 first picks in this first round, so I'll just put it that way. Maybe they get lucky and don't have to give up both in the first, but it's highly likely they will have to do that if they want to move up and they get Drake May. What an offense that would be with Drake May and Justin Jefferson. Sign me up all day long for that, because I think it would be super exciting. Arizona Cardinals, number 4. And I mean, they're going to try to move up and down this board, but I think it's going to be ultimately Marvin Harrison Jr. And they get one of the best players in the entire draft here at number 4 to help Kyler Murray. They have no wide receiver talent. Trey McBride is saying, he needs some help, and he believes that they're going to get him somebody, and who better than a Marvin Harrison Jr. to help the cause. So you got Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride to anchor the, pass catching options right as of today with a Wilson. I don't mind that whatsoever for Arizona. It would be absolutely glorious for this offense. Number 5, Los Angeles Chargers. They got lots of issues, and they're trying to revamp. Some are saying, the rumor mill is saying, could they trade a Justin Herbert and draft a J.J. McCarthy? I don't buy it for a second. We know what a Justin Herbert is, even though it is Coach Harbaugh. They're going to go Malik Neighbors, wide receiver, LSU. And I mean, okay, like I said, their rumor mill is they're exploring all their options, but I mean, getting rid of all their wide receiver talent. No more Keenan Allen, no more Mike Williams. This just makes too much sense. Malik Neighbors is an instant wide receiver 1 appeal for them, and for a Justin Herbert, this would be a great get for them here with the Chargers. Number 6, the New York Football Giants. Worst kept secret in the NFL is the Giants are done with Danny Penny's Daniel Jones. And who are they going to get? I mean, J.J. McCarthy. Okay, there is rumor mill that Coach Dable is extremely happy with what a potential of J.J. could bring to this team. And even though they do got the heavy contract for a Danny Pennies, you got to believe that JJ would be able to, at least if they had to, sit and let him learn, or if they do say that Pennies is not, Daniel Jones is not ready to go off the ACL, JJ McCarthy could be an instant starter depending on how he plays in training camp and the preseason. So they do get a new look and a new quarterback, and Dable gets his guy rather than, I still don't understand why they paid Danny Pennies, but he's likely gone. I'd be shocked if the Giants go anywhere else but trying to get a quarterback at JJ would be a good fit here in New York. Tennessee Titans, they did a great job this offseason filling a lot of holes with a lot of talent, and beefing up the O-line for a Will Levis just makes too much sense. Very much a viable option here. Joe Alt is a very good offensive tackle and will pay dividends in helping rebuild this offensive punch. Now with no Derrick Henry, you got to protect the young quarterback in his start of, hopefully being something in the NFL, man. Number 8, Atlanta Falcons. Okay, they could go Dallas Turner here, but I'm saying Jared Verse, Florida State, because he's one of my favorites in this entire draft class. I love Jared Verse's game. I think he is a similar likeness to a DeMarcus Ware Hall of Famer. We're not going to say that Verse is going to be a Hall of Famer yet, but I'm saying I do like the likeness in what he does bring to the field. They got offensive weapons. They got their quarterback with a Kirk Cousins now, so why not get my favorite pass rusher in this class? And he will pay instant beast mode from day one. Love me some Jared Verse. So the Bears, they score huge at number 9, and they get Dallas Turner. So not only do they get Caleb Williams, they get an embarrassment of riches, getting Caleb and snagging Turner and getting 2 of the best prospects in this entire draft to help rebuild and revamp the offensive system and the defensive system. And the Bears, the rebuild is definitely real. Bears fans, stay patient. I know a lot of y'all are very angry with all the things that are going down because you're dying for a winner, and maybe this is the year they finally build it properly with Caleb and Turner. Turner is a beast in his own right and would add to that defensive front and would make other opposing quarterbacks run for their life and have nightmares before playing that defensive front every Sunday, no question, man. Number 10, the New York Jets. They could go wide receiver here, and it's not out of the question. I had a guy like Xavier Worthy in my 2.0. Now in this one, I'm going to say it's Brock Bowers. This one just makes so much sense, man. While they could go adding more to the defensive side, they could add more to the offensive line. They could go wide receiver. What if they are dying here in New York? They don't have a tight end, and Bowers is one of these generational quote-unquote tight end prospects that you could definitely get behind, and it's an instant need fill with elite prospect talent, so why can't? It's a win-win, man. You don't draft for need, you draft for best player on the board, and at this point, it's need and best player for the Jets, and this would be an absolute gem fit for an Aaron Rodgers who could only be playing for the next 1 or 2 years, so you get a guy like this, and we know how Aaron Rodgers feels about rookie wide receiver, so the tight end is a little bit different. I think Bowers would pay dividends here for these New York Jets. Potential trade here at number 11. Like I said, the Minnesota Vikings moved up to number 3, where the Patriots would drop back here to number 11, and they're going to go Michael Penix. So not only do they get to stack picks, but now and help this rebuild along, they're getting themselves a quarterback who could be a potential franchise passer for them here at number 11. And the Pats need to rebuild this roster in a massive way under Coach Mayo, and now they're going to get 2 picks in the first round to restart this entire thing. What better way to start with a Michael Penix, who could now also sit behind a Jacoby Brissett to learn in this system? I do like it. I think it would be a very good move for these Patriots to move back, stack picks, and get a quarterback and still get more picks and players later on. Very good in that respect. Number 12, trade alert, man. Projected trade, my Buffalo Bills. So if it does pan out this way where Rome Odunze is falling all the way to number 12, this makes it easier for Brandon Beane to jump into the top 12 and get his number 1 wide receiver. Now with no Stephon Diggs, Bills could make a huge splash at this point if the board does fall this way, like I'm saying, seeing Rome sitting at 12 and then Beane having the prime opportunity to move up to grab that alpha. I would absolutely be in love with this pick and this move. Bills would have to give up quite a bit to get Rome, but I'm telling y'all, if it is the option here where it is closer to pick 15, Bills may make a move and jump this board, and Rome Odunze sitting at 12 would be absolutely genius for a Josh Allen. I absolutely love it. It may not happen, but this is my projected trade at this point. Number 13, the Las Vegas Raiders. Many ways they can go in this draft as well. Offensive line, and adding to the defensive front this offseason, they did very well. They got Gardner Minshew along with an Aiden O'Connell, so we'll see how this offense does go. They kind of look like one of these teams that wants to rebuild hardcore on the defense first to keep them at least closer in contest. They got the defensive front. What do they require? They need defensive back presence, man. Terrion Arnold is a beast. Could be one of the best in this class, no question, at the defensive back spot. What do you need in this league on the defensive side? Pass rushing presence and defensive back help, Terrion Arnold would absolutely be a great fit for them here with the Las Vegas Raiders at number 13. Number 14, New Orleans Saints. Easy one is Fuaga, offensive tackle. They need to keep Derek Carr upright, man. Keep him off the turf. Keep him out of the medical room. And I mean, you got to keep him feeding Alvin Kamara and a Chris Olave. This is an easy need fill pick for them, and I think that it is probably one of the better ones for the Saints at this point, where they fill the need, get a great player to help protect Derek Carr, and then we'll see what they do later on in the future. The Colts at number 15. Rumor has it they are enamored with a Brock Bowers in a very bad way, but I mean, with him gone to the New York Jets, what better way to help add this to the secondary is add a Nate Wiggins from Clemson, speed demon on the defensive side. He's got great coverage skills as well and great pursuit, which would help aid in this defensive secondary, who did see struggle at times. Wiggins to the Colts would make so much sense for me, and I absolutely love it for these Indianapolis Colts, man. Seattle Seahawks at number 16. Now with Wiggins gone, you can get potentially who is the best defensive back in this class in a Mitchell from Toledo. I like this guy as well. He's got a lot of skills, a lot of talent, and the Hawks could be improving their offense as well. Even though I do like the offensive line, how they played last year, Geno could take a step forward with the trio of wide receivers they do still have in a Lockett, Metcalf, and a JSN, Jackson Smith-Njigba. Why not add to this defensive side? Try to rebuild a new legion of boom. Play alongside with a spoon. I love Mitchell a lot, and I think it would be absolutely glorious for this defense to grab a Mitchell, and they would have three extremely talented defensive backs on this secondary, and it would be unbelievable what they could do on the defensive side. Number 17, the DB run continues here with Kool-Aid McKinstry to those Jacksonville Jaguars. And I mean, okay, the Jags have done pretty well this offseason, filling a bunch of needs, getting some wide receiver help with Gabe Davis and company, adding to the defensive front. So we'll see. I think they do require a lot of defensive back help. And with the run happening on defensive backs at 15-16, you got to say Kool-Aid's got to be going here to these Jaguars to help out the cause. They got to make sure that they're protecting the defensive back end. And I think, with the added pressure of the line, it would make Kool-Aid's job a lot easier. Jags definitely get a stud in a Kool-Aid. Number 18, Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, what's the issue going down with the Bengals? The T. Higgins contract situation. What is it, $21 million on the franchise tag? No Tyler Boyd at this point re-signing. I mean, okay, so now you got some needs. Yes, they got some wide receivers in the cupboards. Why not go Brian Thomas Jr. here? Because now you could essentially have a similar likeness of a wide receiver. Big body wide receiver with loads of potential, good hands. He's got better speed than a T. Higgins. And you could let T go or trade him in this draft process as well and recoup some picks while adding a Brian Thomas with a Jamar Chase. I think this would be absolutely a great fit for the Cincinnati Bengals. Very similar skill set, and Thomas has got potential for days to be a top dog wide receiver in this league. No question, man. Number 19, Los Angeles Rams. J.C. Latham, offensive tackle. And what's the issue? The Rams were competitive, more competitive than I had anticipated last year. And if you want to stay down that course, keep Matthew Stafford upright and off the turf, kind of like we're talking about a Jared Carr. He's not getting any younger at this point, so they want to keep trying to win. You got to protect Matthew Stafford in a very big way, without question. Pittsburgh Steelers, number 20. They could go many directions here as well. I mean, wide receiver could be in play, but they're so good at finding late round wide receivers. I don't foresee this. They need to absolutely protect Russell Wilson. The new look Steelers. Protect Russell Wilson. Give Najee Harris some more holes. You're going to draft an offensive tackle here in Fashanu from Penn State. It just makes too much sense. And I mean, okay, the Penn State connection last year with Joey Porter Jr. I mean, they're going to keep going back to Penn State just absolutely turns out some good gems, and he would be a good fit here in Pittsburgh. Number 21, this one makes me throw up in my mouth a little bit, but it just, you got to understand, based on the fact of, this one reeks Miami with Coach McDaniel. Get another speed demon on the field, team up with Tyreek, team up with Waddle and Achane, and you get Xavier Worthy, and you're going to have wheels for days. Imagine the concepts that they could create in Miami with another speed demon like a Worthy. And that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that third option to help, aid in this offense that they don't have, where the reliance isn't necessarily all on Tyreek. You can give Waddle a break from time to time. You add a Worthy to this offense. I mean, we haven't seen a speed offense like this in I don't even know how long. This would be something definitely new in the NFL, no question. 22, Philadelphia Eagles, Cooper DeJean however you pronounce that guy's name. Philly needs coverage support in a massive way, and getting the versatile DeJean, I mean, he will be an instant help in this regard on the defensive back end. While they did get rid of some players, I think that, adding to this back end is very good, and DeJean is a good talent with a lot of ability. Could play nickel, could play safety, could play corner. He's got the skills and the versatility to do it all. I do like it a lot for these Philadelphia Eagles. Number 23, New England Patriots with that projected trade with the Minnesota Vikings. From number 3, I'm saying they get both of Minnesota's picks as they trade down, and they go Keon Coleman. So we could see defense here as well, but I'm saying if you're getting the second pick in this projected trade, getting Penix early on at number 11, then following it up with a Keon Coleman, this is a great way to start your retool with a Coach Mayo, and I think it would be great, man. New look Pats with a Penix and Coleman. How could you not like that for all you Patriot fans? I mean, it's not good for us Bills fans, but it would make a lot of sense for the New England Patriots. Number 24, the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas has no money. They signed no free agents, and they got to improve key spots on this team, and they're going to go Troy Fautanu. I always mess up that dude's name. Washington. If I mess it up, I apologize, sir. That is not okay, but they get a tackle definitely back to help protect Dak Prescott, help open up some lanes for a running back, whoever that running back will be, likely a rookie coming into play, but I mean, they definitely need to help this offensive line build, and Dallas should go Fautanu in this 24th pick without question. Green Bay Packers could go defense here, and I would not be shocked whatsoever if they went edge presence to help round out some more depth on the defensive front, but you got to protect Jordan Love. This offense looked very good last year, and I think they're going to continue to build. You get them a Mims offensive tackle from Georgia, and I mean, this can be paramount for protecting a Jordan Love. Let this offense keep moving, keep cooking with the young wide receivers that they do have, and I mean, adding a Josh Jacobs, you want to open up some more lanes. Adding a Mims would absolutely help in that regard. Number 26, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They lost a Carlton Davis, went to the Lions. They had issues on the back end last year anyway with a Davis, so you got to fill this need massively. The front seven on these Bucs still very good. You add a Rakestraw Jr., Missouri defensive back. He is very good, very talented, lanky, lean, and he can make some plays. I do like the fit for these Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they continue to rebuild this defense, as they signed a Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans. So the offense is basically similar cast of characters coming back. They could do offensive line here as well, but I think the need at defensive back is far too great. Number 27, Arizona Cardinals with their second pick. They're going to try hard to move up and down this board for the future, try to get more picks, stack more picks, but ultimately I think they're just going to get two impact players, one in Marvin Harrison Jr. and now in Byron Murphy, defensive tackle from Texas, to help overall build this entire offense and defense. I think this is a great pick for the Cardinals. They get two highly impactful players on their team, and I think it's a good step in the right direction for these Cardinals to actually start to become winners once again. Number 28, Denver Broncos, that projected trade with the Buffalo Bills. From number 12, and rumor has it that the Broncos may mortgage the entire future to go get a J.J. McCarthy. We're hearing this rumbling, hearing this rumor, so that may force the hand of other teams who want J.J. to do that before that. So if it does not happen, let's just say the Giants do pick a J.J. at 6, so the Broncos say, fine, we'll trade back now, stack some picks from the Buffalo Bills, and still get a quarterback with some potential in a Bo Nix and see what they can do in that respect. Broncos, like I'm saying, in this case, they will get picks, they will get Bo Nix, and it could be a potential massive steal for these Broncos if Bo Nix does turn out. He's got a lot of skills, a lot of potential, but there is raw tendencies, so we will see. This one does make some sense as well. Could Bo fall out of the first round? Absolutely. But if this board falls this way that I'm saying, Bo Nix to Denver on a trade back is not out of the question, and not a terrible situation for these Denver Broncos. Number 29, the Detroit Lions. The Lions roster does not have a lot of holes at this point. I mean, they're, improving in all aspects. They added some, rushing presence on the defensive line. So keep adding to that to bite off more kneecaps. Chop Robinson, Penn State. And I mean, this could absolutely be Chop and Hutch dominating for the next 10 years in this Detroit Lions defense. And I mean, that's the MO for me. You got to get more pressures on the quarterback, help out in a Hutchinson, and I think this is going to be absolutely glorious for them. You get a Chop Robinson to team up with Hutch, it's going to be very good for this defense, including that secondary that looked very good at times last year. Baltimore Ravens, they're going to go Latu, and I mean, Okay, the Ravens need to restock the cupboards here because they lost a lot of defense in some, key areas this offseason, and we know that they love their defense. They added a Derrick Henry, so what is the MO about to be here? Go back to the well in your schemes and run the football a lot, control the clock, and play very good defense. Adding a guy like Latu, who we could see fall in this draft due to his medicals, had that spinal fusion, so I would not be shocked if we see Latu fall. I don't foresee him getting past the Ravens here at 30 at this point because Baltimore knows how to draft these pass rushers, develop them, keep them healthy, and I think that Latu would be an instant fit for these Baltimore Ravens. Number 31, little bit of a shocker, we could say. 49ers absolutely require some offensive line assistance, no question about it. But with, the Brandon Ayuk troubles, does he want to play? Is he going to get traded? Did he request a trade? We could see an AD Mitchell going from Texas to replace a potential replacement of a Brandon Ayuk. We could see even a draft day trade where Ayuk gets traded after they draft a Mitchell. He makes, Shanahan and Brock Purdy that much happier because they get to replace him with another guy who's got good wheels and great ability to be a wide receiver one on any team. I do like Mitchell to the 49ers would be a very good fit in that respect. Also, last one on the board, 32, Kansas City Chiefs. Super Bowl champion Chiefs. Okay, they filled a wide receiver need with a Hollywood Brown, but then they lost Rice. He could be, suspended for those off-field issues due to the drag racing on the freeway, but defensive back still a need for this team after they lost their defensive back to the Tennessee Titans. You go Lassiter from Georgia, and this defense is very good in all respects anyway. Keep adding to the strength of this team as well on the defensive side. You add a guy like Lassiter to go with McDuffie. It is going to be very good for these Kansas City Chiefs. But there you have it. That is my final mock draft 3.0. Will it fall this way? We'll see. How many will I get right? We will see. But this does make a lot of sense. Could happen for a lot of these teams and what they require, what they need, what they want, who they're willing to trade and give up. It's going to be very interesting. Draft is on Thursday. I'm so excited. Hope you guys are as well. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts, and we'll see you next time. I am out.